Hello, this is attorney Scott Lesswitz, and this is going to be a fun video. So Shannon Sharpe's motion to dismiss Brett Favre's defamation lawsuit against him is fully briefed, and we are waiting on a ruling from the judge. So I thought that this would be a good time to make a video about whether Brett Favre should even want to go forward with this lawsuit. One issue that Brett Favre will face is that because he's seeking significant monetary damages, his reputation is going to be at issue at trial. So I'm going to go over how Brett Favre's reputation was not particularly good even before Shannon Sharpe opened his mouth to start talking about Brett Favre. So the law is that when a plaintiff is seeking monetary damages for injury to his reputation, then evidence as to the quality and value of the plaintiff's reputation prior to the defamation is relevant to the question of the amount of damages that can be awarded. And theoretically, if the plaintiff's reputation was so bad to begin with, he might be entitled to no damages. He might be what's called a libel-proof plaintiff. To clarify, what would be at issue at trial would be what is publicly known about Favre. Any evidence of hypothetical wrongdoing that Favre may have done that the public does not know about would be irrelevant. All right, so with all that out of the way, let's get to the fun stuff. Let's get to talking about Brett Favre's reputation. All right, so before I get into it, I do need to do some CYA here. So to be clear, I have no personal knowledge about anything involving Brett Favre. I've never met Brett Favre. I've never met someone who's met Brett Favre. I don't think I've even met somebody who's met Brett Favre. And I will be referencing articles about Brett Favre, and I'm not saying that what's in those articles is true. The issue is just that if they're out there, it's affecting his reputation, whether those things are true or not. You know what? Screw that. I think everything that anybody has ever said about Brett Favre is false. I think Brett Favre is the most wonderful human being that was ever created. And I think that you should be very happy if Brett Favre were to send a picture of his penis to you. And Brett Favre denies wrongdoing in any of the things I will be talking about in this video. All right, so one thing that will clearly be relevant and will be raised at trial is how much bad press there already was about Brett Favre with the alleged welfare fraud thingy before Shannon Sharpe ever spoke about it, and how much stuff there was after that, things that were worse than what Shannon Sharpe said. It seems very difficult and implausible to me to be able to pick out how much incremental damages Brett Favre suffered because of what Shannon Sharpe said versus all the other things that were said. All right, so let's go back deeper in time now. Jennifer Sturger was a sideline reporter for Jets games during the season that Brett Favre was the quarterback. And in 2008, Jennifer Sturger accused Brett Favre of sending her, let's say, naughty text messages, perhaps some pictures of, of little Brett Favre. Now, the NFL investigated, and they actually found insufficient evidence that he was the one who sent them. And please insert your own Brett Favre penis joke about the lack of evidence, because I'm way too mature to make a joke like that. That said, the NFL did fine Brett Favre $50,000 for a lack of cooperation with the investigation. Sturger is continuing to allege that Brett Favre did send her those, naughty text messages. For instance, in September 2022, there was a Daily Mail article that's available online, I'll leave a link for it, in which they went and talked to Sturger in light of text messages coming out regarding Brett Favre and that whole, welfare thing. And again, realize I don't know anything about that. I'm not even sure if welfare is a real thing. I'm not even sure if there's really poor people. And frankly, I think TANF sounds like some kind of made-up thing, made-up acronym. It just doesn't sound right to me. So here's from the article. And now Sturger has added fuel to the fire by revealing more details of her previous dealings with Favre, including how she lost her job because she wouldn't sleep with him. The comedian quote tweeted the report, replying, "Oh, now he gets in trouble for inappropriate texts." And look, perhaps, maybe, probably not, the jury will get to see this meme that I found on the internet about this Sturger incident that I'd like to share with you. I didn't send that pic of my wiener to Jen Sturger because I liked her. I sent it because I'm Brett effing Favre. I honestly thought that everyone wanted to see it. I used to send that thing to everyone, waiters, bank tellers, golf caddies. The public reaction shocked me, but now I know why my Aunt Barb doesn't return my calls anymore. Brett Favre on why he no longer sends Christmas cards. Now, I do need to say, since Brett Favre's attorneys apparently think that people are idiots that don't understand hyperbole or sarcasm, that, of course, that's a meme, and that's not actual things that Brett Favre said himself. It's a joke. Now, that wasn't Brett Favre's only naughty texting scandal. So this is from a Denver Post article from 2013. Link in the description. A lawsuit filed by 2 massage therapists against retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre over claims the former Minnesota Vikings sent racy text messages has been settled, a lawyer for the women said Friday. Christina Scavo and Shannon O'Toole had alleged in a lawsuit seeking unspecified damages that in 2008, while Favre was playing for the New York Jets, they lost their part-time jobs with the team after complaining that he sent sexually suggestive text to another therapist. All right, so damn, yet another interception for Favre in his season with the Jets. And even better than my lame joke, here's a New York Post headline that says, "No happy ending." You get it? And I gotta say, the photo they used of Brett Favre, that is just pure genius. All right, so then we get to the whole concussion spray thing. So this is from a November 2022 ESPN article. 2 concussion drug companies backed by Brett Favre and enmeshed in a massive welfare fraud case overstated their NFL connections and exaggerated the known effectiveness of their drugs during efforts to raise money, according to interviews and documents reviewed by ESPN. And later, Van Landingham and Favre continued their promotional efforts. In a 2020 radio interview, they even suggested their nasal spray could save football players from the ravages of CTE, the long-term brain disease that posed an existential crisis to the sport. In reality, there was no research on humans to suggest anything of the sort. Okay, so I'm not a scientist. I'm not a researcher. Look, you just heard me read. I'm barely literate. But in my uninformed opinion, any hypothetical nasal spray that cures concussion or prevents brain damage screams of scam. So, you know what? If I'm Brett Favre's attorneys, I might be thinking here, maybe we should just seek nominal damages. Maybe we should just seek $1 so this doesn't all, have to come up and be an issue at trial. All right, so if you got anything else to share in the comments, please do so. I'm hoping these are some fun comments. In the honor of the late Jerry Springer, take care of yourself and each other.